Hello and welcome to this course. It's a course I used to call Weeds, Weeds, Wondrous Weeds, and I have to change the name, but like in my heart, that's what it's called because I think the weeds are so wonderful. So, some reasons why I feel this is a really important skill for home gardeners to learn to make good use of the invasive plants in their space is that it is, along with cow manure and food scraps, it is the most underappreciated resource in your garden. And I'm sitting here looking out over the garden in front of the little granny flat, and like I wouldn't be able to grow food if I didn't have weeds to make soil to plant in. Um, so it's something that makes me really stressed is the chemicals that are applied to weeds in our public spaces and schools and businesses and in home gardens. And I guess with Blue Borage, I've kind of made it my life's mission to eliminate those chemicals so that the weeds can be used to make healthy soil. And I'm not having much luck with the business community, with schools, with local councils, with taxpayer funded government organizations. And so who's left? It's the home gardener. And I know, like, I don't think I've ever purchased weed killer. I've purchased snail bait like 20 years ago, but I don't think I've ever killed weeds. But there was a time when I would weed the garden and try and hide them because I was told they couldn't go in the compost, right? We're all told that. So if I can make that transition from, oh, that weed's not allowed in here where I make soil, then anyone can. So I hope that this course with the case studies and the step-by-step process helps you step through part of that journey towards full appreciation of weeds. So there's the unnecessary chemicals. Next step is the unnecessary transportation. And I have reached out to numerous professional gardening landscaping companies saying, hey, could we collaborate and I teach your customers how to keep all their garden waste on site and make soil. Like in my mind, that's just the perfect combination. Unfortunately, those companies are really busy. They're making lots of money. Their business model is, it's not that it's set in stone, but they don't need to change. And what's more, their customers aren't asking for the service that I offer. So once again, it's back to those homeowners. If enough of us demonstrate what's possible, we can educate the wider population to ask more of the people they hire to help tend their gardens. So we've got underappreciated resource, unnecessary chemicals, unnecessary transportation. And the final point is the unnecessary irritation. And I know, like, even now, and I'll talk about this further on in the course, but there's one particular weed out in the garden. It's a Californian thistle, and I find the plant quite beautiful. But when I'm weeding with bare hands, when I see that plant, there's a little niggle of, there's another one, I have to go get my gloves. And that little feeling of is my version of irritation, but I meet a lot of customers that it is full-blown anger. I meet home gardeners that have let the weeds get so big that so that they're going to move into the house next, and they feel overwhelmed. They feel powerless, and I want to help reduce that and transform that. So in astrology, I'm a Sagittarius, and one of my business coaches says Sagittarians go where even angels fear to tread, and we're this sort of mutable fire that transforms. It's like alchemy. Okay, so what this course is a very simple step-by-step process that I use with invasive plants. I've used it in so many different gardens, and anytime I look at a customer's garden and there's just a lot to take in and they don't know where to start, I come back to this process. So basically what the process is, first of all, we're going to identify the plants, and this can be complicated, it can be simple. So I'll go into more detail in that step. So step one, identify the plants. Step two, spend time with them. And this is spending time with them. I call it in an open-hearted manner. So this week I've just dug this up from a paddock. It's ragwort. And this is something that I'm just fascinated by the shape of these leaves, but I've had a couple of people walk around the farm with me and go, oh, you've got ragwort, like, oh, that's a problem. And apparently it's toxic to animals. So I'm going to do some research on that today. But over on my little display table, I've got it in a vase, big, tall, yellow flowers. And every time I look over at them, they just bring me joy. So between the flowers on that side, the leaves on this side, I'll be putting some attention on ragwort. The next step is to spend time researching it. And this is research done with open-minded curiosity. And I'll go more into this process in step 3, but just so that you've got an overview of the 5 steps. Then step 4 is to choose a management strategy. And the strategy, if at all possible, I'm going to try and shape your language so that we're not getting rid of it, we're working with it. How can we work with this plant so it becomes part of the property in a non-problematic way? And at the same time, we turn it to soil or a weed tea, and over time, find the correct space in the ecosystem where there is no irritation when we see ragwort. And chances are that will mean most of it is in the flower farm orchard. And Marine and I just have to plant more flowers, get more beds established, mulch for the pathways. And the more intensive we plant, the less space there is for the unwanted plants. Then finally, step 5 is once you've chosen a strategy, to implement it. And what I just mentioned about Marine's flower farm is a big part of a successful strategy is making sure everybody else around you knows what to do with the plant in question. So if it's getting isolated in a separate compost pile or weed tea or plastic bag, whatever the method is that you choose. If people around you don't know what that method is, it can lead to more irritation. So once you've gone through those 5 steps with one plant, it's then time to go back to step 1 and choose, well, back to step 1 and identify your plants or look at your plant list and choose the next one. So for today is the 12th of January, and for the rest of this month, I am hosting office hours, 9 a.m. in the morning, 7 days a week, and I will be working on the photos and videos to upload into the course, but I'm here available for Q&A about your invasive weeds. So look forward to this month of kind of intensive weed management.